Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fantasy NBA. Today, a sports ethos presentation brought to you by our great partners at FanDuel. My name is Aaron Bruski, and with me is the great Steve, Dr. A. Alexander. And today, we're going to get you guys caught up after a Armageddon Monday. There was just all sorts of stuff flying around. As usual, we will start the show with a check-in, as well as Dr. A's My Guys, and then my Bruski 150 Players of the Night. We will bring you the top 4 ads of last night, and then we will wrap this show up with a visit to the Drop Zone. Doc, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. I have a hard out 30 minutes from now. So if I disappear in the middle of this show, I have not been kidnapped. Andre has not sent some sort of mafia after me. I've just left to go to where I have to go.
Well, I hope you manufacture some drama and yell at me on your way out the door. You know you want to do it. All right, let's talk news. We got a bunch of different news. All sorts of crap happened last night. So we're going to just try to speed through it as fast as we possibly can. At the top, Paul George and Andre Drummond participated in shoot-around. Joel Embiid is out for tonight's game. So I guess good news on the Andre Drummond front. Quentin Grimes downgraded to questionable with the calf injury du jour. So we talked about Adem Bona being an ad or at least an elite streamer in yesterday's show. And it looks like Paul George is on track to play. If Grimes ends up missing this game, who do you trust right now, Doc? VJ, Edgecombe, or Jared McCain?
Edgecombe.
Yeah. I think that I'm right there with you. And who knows, maybe this will be one of the things that gets Edgecombe back on track. We got Draymond Green listed probable with a foot issue. The one that I've actually got my eye on is Jimmy Butler. He has a back or an ass injury. According to him, he is expected to play. According to Steve Kerr, he did not practice on Monday, so we will keep an eye on the news for that in terms of a late update there. We have Derek White probable. That seems to be locked in. Felt like everybody in Boston was talking about that being a pretty much a guarantee. Nemish Keita probable as well. He had a big game when he played the other day, and then he had a day off, so hopefully he can get some consistency going there. Donovan Clingan, illness questionable. Trey Murphy, elbow questionable. That was the one that caught
he's in. Eye. Trey Murphy's in.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice. Well, that takes care of that.
Lovely. And hallelujah. That just made my day.
Hell yeah. All right. We're getting off to a great start here. Devin Booker did not return to last night's game with a right groin injury. He got into street clothes, chatting it up with LeBron in the second half of last night's win over the Lakers. We talk all the time about Colin Gillespie. He obviously needs to be rostered everywhere. What a game for him last night. But if Booker misses any time, Doc, are you looking into Jordan Goodwin at all?
I think Jordan Goodwin is interesting, but I think what's more interesting is Royce O'Neal kind of filled in the point guard duties last night and had 11 assists in that game. One thing we don't talk about very much in these parts is games played, and I'm hung up on the fact that Phoenix only has one more game left this week. So if you have Devin Booker, you're probably done for the week with him. If you have Gillespie, you get one more. If you have O'Neal, you get one more. Jordan Goodwin is interesting, but in roto leagues, it's fine because you're capped by games played, so it doesn't really matter. But in head-to-head leagues, I think you need to explore your alternatives on Suns the rest of the week. But I do think Royce O'Neal could end up being the big assist guy, the point guard type of guy, if Booker misses time.
Yeah, obviously Grayson Allen factors in heavy one way or another with or without a Devin Booker injury. And O'Neal, one of these reasons why I've been just kind of on everybody to just hang on to Royce O'Neal is he's just got a great role and the numbers come and it's just kind of all good for him even when it's bad. Ryan Dunn has been off the floor for a little bit here. He dunked too hard the other day and he's just getting back. And to me, he's just kind of a classic top 100, 125 guy that doesn't matter if he starts or comes off the bench. He's just there. And this theoretically would even help him out a little bit more. So like the value there for Ryan Dunn. We got Jamal Murray, an ankle issue, and he's got a right ankle sprain. So we don't know kind of what the long-term outlook is with this thing, but it seems more of a day-to-day thing. And if he's out, is there somebody that you trust that would become more than just a streamer for their squad that's not currently rostered?
That's a great question. Let me ask you the same question, Brew, because I need to pull up the Denver Nuggets.
I will talk about Spencer Jones in a little bit here.
Dude,
last night was
Spencer
a big
Jones.
film night. Like, I watched
Spencer
a lot of
Jones.
film last night, and it was like after a big 3-show day, and there was just a ton of basketball going on, and it felt like there needed to be more hours in the night because Spencer Jones had a big night, and actually we'll cover him in the must-add players of the night. But yeah, great stuff.
As far as a fill-in for Murray, I don't know that there is one. I mean, you would think Bruce Brown would step up and do something, but I don't think, you lose Jamal Murray, I think he gets spread out to the other stars. I don't think there's a guy that's going to come out of, nowhere to step up and fill that void.
Yeah. Brandon Miller out Monday, had a really rough shooting night the other night, so maybe some time off will do him good. He and Trey Mann are both out in Brooklyn, and Charles Lee actually said they both went through shoot around and wanted to play. So there's 3 games in 4 nights. This at least is looking like garden variety rest for a guy that's missed time, not just this year, but in past seasons as well. Josh Green assigned to the G League, so we're going to have to start factoring Josh Green into the Charlotte stuff. Cam Thomas to get an MRI at the end of the week. So maybe that's the evaluation period, but it does kind of make it seem like he's not going to be getting back anytime too terribly soon. The final MRI seems like maybe that's the one that'll give him the clearance to get back into the higher level activities of being back on a basketball floor. So that's the news. Welcome to all of our new listeners. Head over to sportsethos.com. Check out our website. We got all sorts of free stuff. Check out our memberships. B150 projections, powering the tools that you need to stay ahead in your fantasy leagues. Doc, let's kick us off. Who are your Dr. A's my guys of the night?
Well, we're going to start off with a guy we hyped up yesterday. I said this guy is getting ready to take off and blow up and have a huge 4-game week, especially without Jared Allen around. And Jalen Tyson, it was like he was listening to me. It was like he's channeling his inner Steve. And he hit 10 of 13 shots, 4 3-pointers, 27 points, 11 boards, 4 assists, and a block. We've been hyping this guy up for a minute, and I think we said yesterday, like, this is probably your last call on Jalen Tyson. You either go get him now or you're not going to get him. And he rang the bell.
Yeah, he did. Then on the night of a lot of big stat lines, his stood out real well. I got nothing else to add here. We've been telling you guys about Jalen Tyson all year, and now make sure that he's not on the waiver wire. Doc, who do you got for your second or your my guys player of the night?
Well, every once in a while, Modest Buzelis shows up and does some cool stuff. And last night was one of those nights. He had 21 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 2 3-pointers. He played 36 minutes. That's one of the keys to this deal. Just give Buzelis minutes and let him play. Stop jerking him around. Stop jerking me around. Every time you jerk Modest around, it jerks me around. So this is why we're high on Modest Buzelis. This is why I was overdrafting him. Now, he has not lived up to this hype. He doesn't do this every night, but this is a start. It's another start. So hopefully this kicks off a hot run for Buzelis.
Yeah, as I said in the 30-team breakdown show yesterday, this is like an easy buy low. Like, there's nothing that's going to make this. I mean, aside from the fact that you might have lost your chance with last night's line, that was kind of a guaranteed profit. I think you could trade a top 75 guy for Modest Buzelis and get Modest Buzelis, and he's probably going to play every game for the rest of the year, most of them, hopefully, and get you that top 75 back no matter what. But you might get top 30 the rest of the season, and that's just great stuff right there. Let's get into my B150 players of last night. We got so kind of a shout out before I get into something a little bit deeper. We got Kevin Porter Jr., 31 minutes, big fat stat line. He had 80% of his shots. He did it with Giannis playing. He did it with Giannis playing not so well. He did it with Ryan Rollins on the floor. Ryan Rollins, 30 minutes, 14 points, 3 triples, 2 boards, 5 assists, 1 block, 41.7% shooting from the field. Porter's definitely way past the top 60. I think I might have mentioned even some top 40 upside for Kevin Porter. He did leave with a back injury, and hopefully this is just garden variety, getting back on the floor and some soreness and all of the things. But it really does feel like we're getting the pecking order right, just delivered right to us in the first few games here. Kevin Porter Jr. in the lead spot between he and Ryan Rollins. Hopefully you were able to sell high on Ryan Rollins, and I do think Ryan Rollins kind of cruises at a top 75 altitude for the rest of the season. And then Porter again, I think top 40 is easily in play. And I honestly don't think Giannis is going to make it through the rest of the season. How long he decides to keep playing is kind of up in the air, but at some point in time, this thing implodes, and Kevin Porter Jr., if and when that happens, is probably a third or maybe, God, even a second round asset. I don't know. I don't want to get too far out over my skis with this, but Kevin Porter Jr. doing great stuff. Colin Gillespie, got to mention it, right? 28 points, 8 3-pointers, 4 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals. We drafted him. You know, he's not a waiver wire pickup of the year. He's not a drop guy. He's an emerging, starting, he has kind of the same career trajectory as Austin Rivers heading his way. So when Colin Gillespie's out there doing huge things in the NBA, just don't be surprised. You heard it here first. Then it's Dennis Jenkins time. Doc, do you want to talk about anything I said before we get into Dennis Jenkins?
Well, Gillespie looks even better with the Devin Booker injury. Like that's huge. And the only thing that is bumming me out about Colin Gillespie right now, which I've got him everywhere, is the one game left for the week. So that's kind of stinks. But other than that, man, good to go. KPJ, second, third round value. I don't know how realistic that is. Maybe it is. I mean, he's balling. He looks amazing. I hope he just tweaked his back like you. I'm not too worried about Ryan Rollins either. I agree. Like still top 75. You don't have to panic. You don't have to punch yourself in the face like Chris Farley would do to himself or hit yourself in the head because you didn't sell high on Ryan Rollins. But if you did, it was probably smart.
Yeah. Just a little extra round or 2 or maybe 3 of value. Who knows, though, in that very first top 20 run for Ryan Rollins, maybe you might have gotten a good 3 or 4 rounds of value on that. Who knows? But yeah, definitely don't punch yourself in the face unless it's for comedy. Speaking of punching oneself in the face, it might appear that Dennis Jenkins did that last night. He got a start. He played 27 minutes, 3 of 16 from the field. I got all these messages when he got the start and like all these different things. And then he had a great shot to start the game. And then I'm seeing like Ryan Russillo out there complaining. He's like, this is too much Dennis Jenkins. And I'm like, oh crap, what did Dennis Jenkins do? And I get to okay, I gotta watch this game. I see the stat line, and thank God he had the assists and the rebounds. He actually had the worst fantasy stat line of the night last night because of the 3 turnovers, because of the missed shots, no defensive stats. The worst fantasy player of the night. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come here and tell you to add him. Again, I'm going to do this. Doc's going to be like, no, don't do that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll hear what he has to say here in a second. But I watched this game, and he added so much value on the floor. And all those shots that he missed, I'd say maybe 1 force in there, maybe 2 tops. Defensively, he had like maybe 1 bad play, maybe 2. And other than that, he kind of fit in with everybody else on Detroit, just in a defensive slugfest, playing great defense and putting all this film together. It was nothing of a bad start or experience for Dennis Jenkins out there. If anything, he showed that he's the one guy on the floor who can get to certain spots. And really, it's just, I think this team, it's about Cade Cunningham. And if Cade Cunningham can kind of find a 90% gear, where he's not just doing too much stuff out there, because he had a lot of bad turnovers. He had some really bad defensive stuff. He looks exhausted out there. There's a player in Dennis Jenkins who could do this. Also, Dennis Jenkins had a top 10 usage percentage in this game. And it wasn't, again, like he was forcing it. It was the ball finding Dennis Jenkins, because Dennis Jenkins adds value on the basketball floor. If he's going to play 26 minutes, he's going to have top 75 value for you in fantasy leagues. Now, of course, Duncan Robinson was out. And of course, there's other players here. There's a lot of concern about playing time for Dennis Jenkins. What I'm telling you guys is that he is good enough to survive this, and he's good enough in a couple of weeks to find the gap and get in there if it doesn't happen sooner. So a little bit of a long-term situation here, but if you want to know how good Dennis Jenkins is, the film last night didn't have anything bad to say. So Doc, feel free to throw a wet blanket on my Dennis Jenkins parade here. I'm ready. Just bring it on. Bring it to me.
He hit 3 out of 16 shots.
They were glorious too. It was awesome.
They were all great shots. Is that what you're?
No. They were all makeable shots that barely missed. So
you've really, Dennis Jenkins has got my head all screwed up because I went from being Dennis Jenkins' biggest fan to now sort of.
Yeah. Why aren't you screaming Leroy Jenkins?
Because, well, he was Leroy Jenkins last night, dude. He's firing it up. 0 of 8 from downtown. He missed both of his free throws, turned it over 3 times.
A couple of those were hand grenades too, by the way. But go on.
I have him starting in my 30 deep lineup. So I saw him in the starting lineup last night, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's going to be okay. Like, even if he sucks, it's going to be okay. Well, no, it really wasn't. Like, now we're going to have trouble coming back in field goal percentage for the week. Anyway, my thing about Dennis Jenkins is he's already played in how many games has he already played in? Like,
he probably got like 10 games under his belt. All season long. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
16,
10, 11, 12.
Yeah, he's played a lot of games.
So 16. He's allowed 50. So we're not that far from halfway there already. The G League send down is coming at some point.
Ooh. Detroit will go nuts. Detroit Twitter wants nothing to do with that. They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice.
They could always just get rid of Isaac Jones is one thing they could do. And I'm telling you, at the end of the game, they had him in. They relied on him. He made some big plays late. After missing all those shots, he actually took a tough shot, made it with about 3 minutes left. He did all of the things. And this is one of those things where I am just telling you guys, watching that film, he makes Detroit. And by the way, Detroit looks great. He makes Detroit look really good. Like they got all the angles covered with him on the floor. They got the big. They got the speed that they need with him. They can cover fast players like Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, this guy was running around just being a terror.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. I think we've talked enough about Dennis. My final take on Dennis is I like him. I'm glad he's on my 30 deep team. I don't need him on a 10-team league. I don't need him necessarily in a 12-team league. He's going to have his spots. He's a good player, but I just don't think it's set up for him to happen this year. And especially as good as Detroit is. They have no reason to let's make sure we get Dennis Jenkins in there as much as we can to develop him because they're good. They're beating everybody. And by the way, I told you all to take the Hawks plus 9.5 yesterday. They almost won the game.
Yeah, I had some PTSD there for a second. I saw the private chat going. I was like, oh, crap. We talked about Dennis Jenkins too long again, didn't we? Can't make Dad mad. Let's get to our must-add players of the night. Doc, who was your first must-add player of the night?
We've been talking about him. I think Anthony Black has a hot hand in Orlando. He had 22 points, 2 threes, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. Unlike some of these guys we talk about, I think Anthony Black is available in a bunch of leagues, and I think he's a quality addition right now.
I'm happy with Anthony Black. Like it doesn't matter that Paolo Banchero is going to come back and ruin it for everybody. I'm just happy to see him produce. His draft status and his initial couple years in the NBA just haven't been that noisy, and he's out there doing stuff, and he looks like a thinner, quicker player. He didn't kind of blow up a little bit. It felt like maybe he would try to go that route. be bigger than other guards. I like the trajectory here. I do think it's going to be a problem when Banchero gets back and probably the end of the road for him. But great job setting yourself up for the next time you get an opportunity. I think the next time there's an opportunity, I don't know about you, Doc, but I'll be fine getting in there and adding Anthony Black. That sounds great to me. Shout out Desmond Bane, 37 points, massive stat line, 10 perfect foul shots, top 15 to 25 over the last 2 to 3 weeks. That's why you buy low. I will shift us to a very interesting player, Ryan Nembhard. Have you gotten a chance to watch him, Doc?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had him written down. He was on my list.
He is the brother, right? He's Andrew Nembhard's. He's got to be. He looks like him, but he's like kind of like half the size. It feels like. He had 28 points, 10 assists, three rebounds, and 4 3-pointers. 86% shooting from the field without a turnover. Kind of one of those lines you don't really see very often out there. And I was like, I watched the Dennis Jenkins film. I watched a Ryan Nembhard film now. And he's just a scooty little guard that does the right things a lot. He's kind of fearless out there. He didn't have any defensive stats. And so that's a big question mark for him. His brother doesn't get any defensive stats. Yes, they are brothers. They look exactly alike. I just was shocked to see him as like half the size. I didn't think that was happening. What are you doing with this? Are you going to make a play for Ryan Nembhard or what's up?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would add him if the situation was right. But I'm having trouble finding guys on my teams to drop, to pick guys up. Like I had to cut Filipowski today to pick up Ace Bailey, who I already had rostered, and I dropped Ace Bailey. I got him back. But if Kyle Filipowski is my worst player, that's good. But no, I think Nembhard's been on a little bit of a roll. I don't have his game log pulled up, but the 28 and 4 threes and 10 assists last night was awesome. And he's been playing well. He's been getting a lot of touches.
Yeah, it's I think a question of can he defensively hold up underneath all of this, this I think he's going to get an opportunity here. I'm going to kind of cut that straight. I don't think Brandon Williams did enough in his audition to hold down a job. And I think with Ryan Nembhard, he's at least getting tempo right for this squad. And tempo is something they've struggled with. And they're kind of going to do something good here, I think, Dallas. So you're going to get Anthony Davis on the floor. Cooper Flagg's he had a big game last night. I kind of think the buy low for Cooper Flagg, it's got maybe 1 or 2 more games tops, if not starting in a very competitive situation. I think you would know after these last 2 games, Cooper Flagg is cooking. But at any rate, I think that the Ryan Nembhard tempo for this offense could be a thing. Now, I just don't know if his stat set's going to support value. He has a combined 0.1 defensive stats on the season in 9 games, 16 minutes per game. So he's going to have to go big with the popcorn stats, the points and the assists and the rebounds. He's going to have to go big every night for him to have like top 125 value. So I think from a value standpoint, he's going to be probably not worth adding. But it's really cool to watch a player. Anytime you get a short, quick guy on the court that's productive and can move a team into a good tempo, that's just fun to watch. So I will leave it at that. You mentioned Ace Bailey's name, Doc. Is he a must-add player of the night for you?
He is. I picked him up. He had 13 points, 3 triples, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Wow. That's Buzelis like on a good night. And while I don't trust Ace Bailey to do this all the time, I mean, the fact that that's in there, the fact that he plays in Utah, the fact they shut people down, the fact that he's young and the future face of the franchise, I kind of feel like it's maybe last call for Ace Bailey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that they're set up to have him go for the rest of the season. I think it's minimum late round value. And you might even be looking at mid round value if things start cooking toward the end of the season and he's going to get to defensive stats as well. That's a great call. Kyle Filipowski, 12.7 boards, 3 assists, 1 block, 2 threes. I can't quit him. It just is what it is. Spencer Jones is my 4th must-add player of the night for us. 28 points, 4 triples, 5 boards, 73% from the field, 1 turnover, no other stats. So this is the second time he's made noise in the box score. The first time I was like, I got to go watch some Spencer Jones. Now I see it again, and I really got to go watch some Spencer Jones because they have all sorts of injury issues in Denver. Jamal Murray starting to, do his thing, or probably get injured and do his thing. I guess that's his thing. The Spencer Jones question is basically this: can a guy that's as immobile as he is for his height, can he somehow be good playing with Nikola Jokic? And I think the answer is probably not in standard leagues. But for the next 2 to 3, 4 weeks, he might hit enough threes and he might have enough points to kind of make it all work at a late round level. And that's saying something for a guy that not a lot of people know much about. And he has also a look about him where maybe he can just keep outperforming expectations. He is a bigger guy. He has I think a good stroke. So I think the shooting is sustainable from a perspective. Is he a decent enough, good enough shooter to hit threes and score points? Yes. Can he learn how to play basketball at a higher level and have some staying power beyond the next 3 to 4 weeks? Not likely. And also, you have the other guys coming back at some point in time. But for the next couple of weeks, he might actually be pretty good. Doc, you got anything on those dudes, or can I swing us through the drop zone?
Let's go to the drop zone because I'm going to rattle off mine, then I'm out of here.
Oh, damn. Well, if you're going to play like that, I will also mention that guys that we had previously talked about, Jay Huff had a good game. Noah Clowney had a good game. Colin Sexton was a good streamer. Peyton Watson and, of course, Colin Gillespie all did what they needed to do and are worth holding or adding. Let's get your...
Yeah, and then I would add to that CJ McCollum. Make sure he's not sitting out there in your league. Vucevic, the center for Washington. If Alex Sarr keeps missing games, he might be a plug-and-play guy for you. Did I have anybody?
Davion Mitchell had a good night last night.
Davion is he's up and down, but he's doing something big every night.
What a great career turnaround and such a solid player for Miami.
Klay Thompson would be my other guy. Like Klay is suddenly playing good again.
That was one of my favorite shouts of yesterday's show. You shouted the Klay Thompson, basically the line that he got it, and that's nice. You also shouted Ron Holland, 17.6 boards, 2 steals, 1 3. There's a lot of good calls in last night's show. That was really good stuff. Naquan Tomlin is somebody to really keep an eye on for defensive stats, rebounds. He's getting minutes with all these guys out. 2 steals, 4 blocks last night. Clowney had 18 points, 2 triples, 4 assists, 1 steal. It's great stuff. Oh, before we get into drops, Danny Wolf. You got any Danny Wolf takes for us?
I don't have much because, like I said, I'm getting ready to stand up and walk out the door, Brew. But Danny Wolf, his last 2 games, he had 10 and 7 on Monday in 19 minutes. That's all right. Saturday, he was nice. He had 22, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block in 30 minutes. Plays for Brooklyn. I mean, anybody who plays for Brooklyn and is getting fringe minutes, you at least have to keep an eye on them, and that's where I am with Danny Wolf. Like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, he had a massive dunk. I don't think if he didn't have that dunk on Miles Bridges, I don't know if we'd be talking about him today. But yeah, I'm with you. You got to see more there. Let's get your drops and let's get you out of here, Doc.
Tristan da Silva, 0 points in 21 minutes last night. I think he took 4 shots. I like the idea of Tristan da Silva. I like the player, but it just doesn't really seem to be working. Zach Reese-Sachet, 4 points and 3 steals in 22 minutes. I'm kind of done with him. And then I'm going to talk about Khalil Ware just for a minute, and then I'm going to get out of here. All right.
Drop that.
So Khalil Ware played 16 minutes last night. The sky is falling. Everybody's panicking. That's his 5th game this season with less than 20 minutes. The other ones, he played 14 minutes. In the next game, he played 23 minutes. He had a 12-minute game. The next game, he played 18. Okay, there's 2 in a row. Panic time. And after the 18 game, he went up to 27 minutes in the next game. And then the other low minute game he had was 19 minutes. The very next game, he had 28 minutes. I'm not concerned about these Khalil Ware teen minute games until it happens like 3 times in a row. Then you will have my attention. And even on some of these low minute nights, he was still doing crazy things like 16 points, 2 blocks and 5 rebounds, 16 rebounds in 19 minutes. I'm not the least bit worried about Khalil Ware yet, but I would like to see him get 25 minutes a game. Brew, I'm out of here. Andre, have a good time. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.
Everybody say goodbye to Doc. Later, Doc. Have fun out there in the wide world of whatever it is that you're doing out there. Okay. So Khalil Ware, I would not drop Khalil Ware if you held the gun to my head. It just wouldn't happen. Also, buy low. Do this. Go do this right now, because the thing that Doc said is basically just proven in the game log. He's going to, at minimum, go off within 3 games. And honestly, if he had 3 bad games, if he had 5 or 10 bad games, I would love it. You would go and you would buy low at every possible time you could until that GM got tired of hearing your offers. And hopefully they would eventually bite, because Khalil Ware, top 30 to 50 player over the last few weeks. He's had a top 20 run in there. It's just great stuff for Khalil Ware. And I just think Spo is trying to mold him into a champion, as it goes. In my drop zone, I've got Jaime Jaquez. He's been sliding a little bit. You got Tyler Hero back. There has been a game off for injury, and we got to give him a little bit of grace for that. But as far as the overall picture goes, I think we're looking in the 125 to 150 range for the foreseeable future. And that's just, something you can move on for the next shiny toy. Jarris Walker, another quarter of his shots made kind of a night. Nothing too terrible. He's not taking a ton of shots. He did start to make a couple shots in the past few games before that. It's just not enough meat to the bone here. Decent enough numbers, just kind of all the way around. I just don't want to deal with a big shooting issue for somebody who's kind of a middle of the road or late round producer when things are going well. And eventually Obi Toppin will get back. So maybe Jarris Walker goes on a hot run and it ends up pissing me off, but I'm definitely willing to drop Jarris Walker and find out. And then for the last drop zone player, and actually I want to quickly just look, is there anybody else I want to shout out here? I will shout out John Collins, who we talk about all the time, is another mediocre line. TJ McConnell had 6 minutes. That I will shout out. Just keep an eye on him. He's not fully healthy, I would guess, is the issue there. And that does take a little bit of the steam out of that play. Probably one more of those, and I think I'm probably off of the TJ McConnell hold. Other than that, I do like him to produce in the top 100 to 125 range. If that works for you, good. And you could kind of sit on that. But the big one, other than Rui Hachimura, who had 2 shot attempts and was actually getting the Lakers press talking about the shots after the game, because Rui was talking about the shots after the game. But the guy I'm not going to tell you to drop, but kind of he's in the drop zone right now. It's a little bit annoying, is LeBron James. He's producing at a top 250 level. This is a classic star, guy that people talk about on Mount Rushmore, returning in his 40-year-old season or whatever his age is, and just going slow with it. And it's clearly annoying me. And it's clearly annoying, I'm sure, everybody else who has rostered LeBron James out there. And the fact that you have Luka and Austin Reeves pretty much running a twin point guard offense out there, it begs a question, like, is LeBron just going to cruise this season? I don't think that's the case. I think that LeBron eventually gets tired of having low or no stats, and they got to work something out there. And Luka Ball has always been on my radar for something that might be a little bit better if he just cut it back about 20%. And it's going to kind of play out here in the next couple of weeks, because if LeBron is still struggling in 2 weeks, I think you're going to hear about it. And this Rui Hachimura thing might low-key be something that ends up saving the Lakers a little bit, because it's just Rui. Rui can be mad, and everybody can say, yeah, you do got to get Rui more than 2 shots. He's only out there for his offense, and it is indicative of this problem that I'm talking about. Hopefully this is the thing that gets them into the gear. Other than that, LeBron, if he's not a top 50 producer this season, it won't really have been worth it to hold for the first however many games he missed. And that's going to be the thing that irks the GMs who took the plunge there, because other than that, he was a really good value on draft day. If he is a top 40 producer in 8 cat leagues, or even heaven forbid, a top 30 producer, then the juice was worth the squeeze, because you were able to get LeBron I think it was like 6, round 7, maybe even round 8, but I don't know if I can remember a round 8 in there. But you got LeBron late, and it's not going to work if he's a top 75 producer. That will not be the juice worth the squeeze. He is a buy low. Andre asked me in the chat. He is a buy low. Absolutely go and buy LeBron James low if you can. I know the name value there certainly prohibits that. And we will end the show on that. If you guys like what you're hearing here, get on over to YouTube and hit the subscribe and the thumbs up button. That's youtube.com/sportsethos. I will be back on the other side to get you ready for tonight's 6-game slate. So thank you, Andre. Thank you, Doc. Thank you to the content team. And for all of us here at Sports Ethos, enjoy your night. And we will be back for this next show in a few minutes here. This has been Fantasy NBA Today, presented by FanDuel.